Wait. Hello, Andrea.
Hello.
Подожди.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Pamela. Или Pamela. Бум. Так. Так. Тут у нас так, чтобы тебе было видно. So. Can you hear me? Hello, Marie. Hello, Gail. Hello, Melissa. Melissa, hi, Melissa. Greetings from New Jersey in the US. I can hear and see you. Great. Hello, my name is Misha. I am husband of Anna Levina. This is Grisha, son of Anna Levina. And we are going to start a tour dedicated to different holidays, starting from Hanukkah, and then New Year, and even maybe Christmas, which is a bit different which was different in Russia, but still. Now we're going to cook some meals. The first meal will be latkes, and the second meal will be a liver pate. I also will tell you some stories from my childhood, from my youth, from the stories that my parents and my grandparents told me, the ones that I remember, and something that occurs to me, maybe related with Jewish culture in the Soviet Union, and a bit with the things that I see here in Israel. Now I'm in Israel, in the city called Ashkelon. It's a small city, 130,000 inhabitants. And there are lots of people from the former USSR. So that's why I kind of come back. Hello, Faith. Hello, Ohad. Hello, Gail. Hello, Ree. So I kind of come back to the times of my youth. And also there are some relatives here who live here, those who kind of keep traditions probably forgotten at our original motherland there back in Russia, in the former USSR. Hello, Janet. And Grisha will help me. Grisha, не поможешь? Grisha will help me. Grisha doesn't speak English, but he understands something. And we're going to split our possible income of this tour 50-50. 50 for him and 50 for me. That was the deal between us. Hello, Jinkyo. Hello, Judith. And I'm not a great cook. I will sometimes I will improvise. I don't like recipes. Hello, Andrea. Hello, Sue and Mark. And anyway, I will tell you that it's tasty anyway. And you may do it on your own. Hello, Yit Jacques. Because I do it more or less like my mother recommended me, mixed with my cousin, mixed with my mother's friend. So they are elderly ladies, and they cherish their own recipes. And I did so I chose hello Smith O. I chose the ones that are more uh, easy for me because it's not easy to do it online at the same time and to do it tasty. So uh, I will turn on some music, maybe. Can you hear the music? Great. Uh, it's one of the. Yes, I enjoy the Berry sisters. They were the duo, American duo of the Yiddish language singers. And my mother used to sing those songs in a duo with her friend in 1960s and 1970s, and they had some gigs, and the Jewish people from those times, and not only Jewish, called them the Soviet Berry sisters from Leningrad. Leningrad was the former name of St. Petersburg. Hello, Marianne. Hello, Karen. Hello, Jim. Hello, Kim. Okay. Um, so this in 1970s, my mother found somewhere the records of the Berry sisters. So I was born in 1978, so it was the first things that I heard in my life. So it's very, very familiar song. Hello, Guan and Beth. Oh. Grisha, Misha. Misha is a short from Mikhail or Michael or Michael in Hebrew. I will tell you some stories about my childhood, about my impressions, how I remember it, how my parents told it. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Robert. Uh, okay, and mhm. Okay, great. Where are you from, by the way? I know that there are a lot of people from the United States. And why? I think it's New York. Catherine and Robert from Poughkeepsie, USA. It's nice to meet you too, Barbara from North Carolina. Great. Indianapolis, from the UK. I see. I lived in the UK in 2000, 2001 for 8 months as an assistant teacher in Gloucestershire many years ago. Right, about 80 miles from the New York City. I see. And we're in Ashkelon. It's about 45 kilometers from Tel Aviv, the cultural capital of business capital of Israel, Walnut, California. Great. I visited New York, Boston, and Washington once 10 years ago. It was a short trip. I just applied for a visa 10 years ago from Russia, and it was very easy. It was nice. I enjoyed New York very much. Are you doing tour travel? I'm thinking about doing tours now. I'm teaching kids in the school, including my son. It's not a school; it's like an extracurricular activities center. but I used to be a tour guide to St. Petersburg from 2006 for Spanish and English speaking tourists. Melissa, you're a teacher too. Great. Uh, Joyce, hello Joyce. Excellent university. They invited me to the university, but it turned out that in Russia, the university teacher get less salary than the school teachers. It's strange, but it is so. Uh, People thought that, well, at least you have a status. You will be a professor of the university, and you will get $500 a month. Well, I didn't like it much, so I didn't finish my doctoral thesis on Spanish lexicology, and I started to become a tour guide. That's insane. Yes, a very sad story about our higher education and university career in Russia. So that's why I didn't join the university as a teacher. Not worth it, especially with humanities. If you're some kind of lawyer or maybe an engineer or programmer, maybe you can teach something. It will be paid. So that's why I didn't work there. I just gave my private Spanish classes to the private students, and it was okay. What about in Israel? In Israel, I need to learn Hebrew. Now I have a kind of intermediate level of Hebrew. I more or less understand. I speak. We repatriated from Russia in March. We finished Ulpan, a Hebrew language course, but I don't have much practice because we don't know much people from the Israeli origin. We normally know people from the Russian-speaking origin from the former USSR region. Hello, Cheryl. And hello, Anna. And it turns out that there are some jobs that require the knowledge of Hebrew. So that's why, in the meanwhile, I will going to find something not very interesting, but well-paid job, and then gradually I will do something. I'm finishing my course as a photo, video, cameraman, something like that, editing and blogging a bit. And then I'm going to go on with blogging, maybe more as a producer, not as a blogger. Haven't I worked in music? Yes. I worked as a music marketing manager in Warner Music Russia for 3 years, and also I worked as a music content manager in other distributors of music content. That was interesting, but that was like years ago. Exactly, but now I'm going to do some different things. For example, 2 days ago, I sang my song in Russian in the holiday for repatriants from Olim Hadashim in Ashdod. It's a city near Ashkelon. It was like a Russian New Year happening, something mixed with Hanukkah. So that was kind of thing. Greetings from Palm Springs. Hello, Shoshana from Sweden. Oh, from Sweden. Great. I visited Sweden once. Stockholm, it was like 1 day trip. St. Petersburg, Helsinki, Turku, Stockholm, 2 days in Stockholm, and then back by ferry 25 years ago. I enjoyed it very much. Someday, now I have Israeli passport, I can travel everywhere. I'm a full flowing Israeli citizen. Yes, and we will start the tour in about 45 seconds. Are you ready? Do you have your ingredients with you? St. was there for great 10 days. It's a good time for for joining, for enjoying the city. Great. And and now we will start. Can you see me well? I have leftover. Okay, great. Let's start. We're going to cook 2 meals. First meal is called latkes. Latkes is like potato pancakes, something like that. And another doesn't have a name, just liver pate. Liver pate. It will be cooked from the chicken liver. Okay? Great. So, what we have here? Look. We have. Oh, tak. Tak. Huh? Okay, great. So, look, what we have here. We have potatoes. Can you turn your vertical so you're? Oh, there. So we have onions, we have potatoes, we have raw egg, we have liver, we have boiled eggs, we have canola oil, have flour, salt, and pepper. You are sideways. And bread soaked in. It's bread soaked in water. Great. So what we're going to do? First, we will start with latkes. So what we need to do? We need to grate latkes. Here, we need to grate potatoes, and then we will do it together with onion. Right? Держи. Держишь?
Okay.
Держишь?
Да.
Держишь? Grisha is holding now. Держишь, вот здесь держи. Is it okay? Okay. Great. I'm grating the potato. And while I'm grating the potato, then the onion, I will tell you something about the story of my family. Like the most Jewish part of my family, because all of them are Jewish, was my father's parents, my grandmother and my grandfather, my grandfather Yaakov, and my grandmother Hannah, but everybody called her Anna. People were a bit afraid to be called with Jewish names, so that's why they prefer to be called with Russian-sounding names. My grandmother was born in 1910, and in Minsk. Then she lived in Vilno, and then she came back to Minsk and met my grandfather. her native language, her mother tongue, was Yiddish. And she wasn't religious, but she studied sometimes at the Jewish school. And then my uncle was born, my uncle Isaac, in 1930s. Then the war started. They went to the evacuation, and then they came back to Minsk. So it was Minsk region, Borisov, and it turned out that there was no home. And then they moved to my grandfather's brother Mula Samuel and Boma Abram, and that's where my father was born. My father Boris, and they lived, all of them. My father, my two uncles, my grandparents, my great-grandmother, they lived in one small room for 3 years until 1950, when my grandfather bought a small house near, 30 kilometers from the center of Leningrad, and that plot of land still exists. It's not the same. It's not the same house, but it is a house where my mother lives now. My father died this year, and we still have this place. And my grandmother was the center of the family. She always cooked for everyone. She always invited everyone. She was the boss in the family, and she always wanted everyone to be traditional Jewish, although she couldn't say Jewish out loud, like, I'm Jewish, and we are speaking Yiddish. It wasn't prohibited, but after the Second World War, it was a time of great anti-Semitism, unfortunately, because there were problems with Israel. There were, now I'm going to grate onion. There were times of anti-Semitism, and people were speaking Yiddish between themselves, not for a long time. And I remember when my grandfather and grandmother spoke Yiddish between themselves, but my grandfather died when I was 6. So since he died, my grandmother, who died when I was 17, she never came back to Yiddish. She just kept it for her late husband. And there were lots of different traditional meals, like the meals for Passover, the meals made of matzah. Do you know matzah? It's a plain bread, like crispy, the one that Jewish people eat during the Passover. So there are lots of different meals that can be cooked from matzah, like kneidlach, you know? Не видно? Like kneidlach, the balls of matzah in broth. I enjoyed it much. Okay, now we have onion. Now we have potato. Now it's a raw egg, and now it's a spoon. It depends on the recipe. I will put two big spoons of flour, right? Then we will put some salt, put some pepper, and we will do some mix, right? Are there any comments? Покажи мне комментарии. Ага. joined. Great. I will answer some questions a bit later. Now I will continue. So my father got accustomed to traditional Jewish food, to traditional food. It wasn't really kosher because my grandmother was from the atheist communist family. My great grandfather Berko was a communist, Polish communist, and he didn't want to have some Jewish ancestry. But still, there was some traditional, some food. Thank you, Grisha. So now we're going to, and the traditional food. The traditional food. See, Joy. Okay. Some comments. Some comments. Fried Natsag. Right. Yes. I make Kneidlach. Exactly. Kneidlach. Bring back my memories from my parents. Yes, and so it was in 19. It was talking about 1970s, and my mother is Rabinovich. She is Jewish, Emma Rabinovich, but she had some problems. She had some problems for my grandmother because my mother, first of all, she didn't have a Jewish name, Emma. Also, she had this short hair. Also, she wore jeans instead of skirt. And also, she didn't like the Jewish food. She didn't enjoy it. She just enjoyed some other food, some other Georgian food, Ukrainian food. Okay. Now I will. Okay, I will put some enough. You see, a lot of oil. You should put the oil back, please. There. Thank you. Great. And also, my father said, "It's Emma. It's my bride." Huh? Said my Anna. I want her to cook something, but my mama said, "I don't know how to cook. I want to sing you some songs in Yiddish. I don't need some songs in Yiddish. I need you to be a good cook, because if you don't cook, if you don't cook, so you're not a good person for my son, for my youngest son." And hello, yes. And it turns out that my mother said, "I don't know how to cook." Well, you should learn. And it was during the New Year, because New Year is the biggest holiday. It was the biggest holiday in the Soviet Union. And she prepared gefilte fish. It's a difficult meal. I won't do it alone here during the tour, but it was gefilte fish, like stuffed fish, with one fish stuffed by another fish. And my father asked us, "Look how Emma prepared gefilte fish. Mama, do you like it?" She said, "I gave her good products and she didn't spoil them." That's a Jewish humor. Okay, now I'm going to wait. We're going to do some pancakes. Some pancakes from the mess. Look. So this will be like potato latkes, or also we could call it draniki. Draniki, meaning like scratchings. It was like scratched from the it was scratched from potato, and I'm going to do it like that. Up. Like that. And maybe like that. And maybe even Grisha. Yes, she's too handsome to hide. Grisha. That's Grisha. Гриша, говорит, что ты слишком симпатичен и не скрывайся. Okay. Grisha is very serious because he's very responsible because he knows he's on tour, he's online, he's been broadcasting. Okay. So finally my father married my mother. And the problem is that my mother had a lot of male friends. Not lovers, just male friends. She used to be a singer. She sang in a band. She sang songs in Yiddish, in Spanish, in French, in Russian, in Polish, whatever. And she wasn't allowed from my grandmother to invite anyone that wasn't married and was male. So that was fun. And so they had a wedding. It was in September of 1975. And they came home, my father and my mother. It was like first wedding night. And then a knock in the door. Because my mother didn't have a telephone then. She didn't have a telephone. It was a deficit. And I don't want my. Wait a second. So she didn't have and her friend, the leader of a band where she sang, he said, "Emma, we're having a gig." Where? Now it's 1 a.m. It doesn't matter. There are some rich people. They're paying money. So I'm kind of busy. I'm from the wedding. You always have a wedding. You have a birthdays. You always have some anniversaries. Blah blah blah. Come, and then my father comes from the kitchen. Hello. Said, hello. Who are you? I am the new husband. Who? New husband? My name is Boris. That means that I spoiled your first wedding night, said my mother's friend Sasha. They laughed and they spent very funny the nights together, telling stories, and they were friends until the friend Sasha died a couple of years ago. Okay. And one, not to forget, well, back. Luck is great. No, they look nice. I don't know how they taste because I'm improvising. Robert, you're Jewish. Mother is from family in Poland, Belarus, and paternal. Yes, probably we're relatives. I don't know. We did the DNA test, and turned out that I'm 100% Ashkenazi, and it's a kind of program 23 something for DNA blood, and also. It turns out that there are lots of people. I'm from Poland. I'm always living. We are relatives. We are 10th cousins or something. Maybe, who knows? How's Grisha doing? Grisha, помогаешь? Do you help? Good. Now we're going to. I think. No, they're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. While I will tell you the Well, it is getting ready. I will tell you that the. Oh, you do also do latkes? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Wait a second for chopped liver. Great. And Rabinovich, of course, yeah. It was a funny story. I'm a Spanish guide, a Spanish teacher. So a couple of years ago, like 6 years ago, there were a list of Jews from the Sephardic origin that can get the Spanish citizenship because of their last name. And you know what? There were both last names: Levin, my father's name, and Rabinovich, my mother's name. But it turned out it wasn't real because I needed to prove that I have some Sephardic origin and I'm Ashkenazi. You see, look at my Grisha. Okay, Grisha will come back. Давай сюда. Не уходи. Сейчас придешь? Grisha will come back shortly. Okay. And also, there are differences between the word. So we say in English we say Jewish, but it isn't so in Russian, because in Russian there is the word Еврей, which is ethnically Jewish, and there is a word Иудей, which is Jewish, like from the religion. So, according to the Soviet law from 1935, if I'm not mistaken, every citizen of the Soviet Union needed to have had some point at his passport called origin. So, Ukrainian, Belarusian, Georgian, Gypsy, I don't know, Azerbaijani, and Еврей, meaning Jewish. So that was from my grandparents. And my parents were born with that. I also was born with my Jewish ancestry, and it was written in my passport, my birth certificate. And then the Russian laws in 1991, they canceled it because it doesn't cope much with the human rights, with the international law, but still it turned out that it was the pretext for us to repatriate to Israel, and that's how we got our new home because of that. I remember. Thank you, Guan. Thank you, Shoshana. They're going to be Heygo celebrities. Yes, of course. I have some celebrities friends here in Israel. Yes, Grisha will become sometimes a celebrity. Yes, and it turns out that I can remember that, like my first tourist in the year 2000 said, "Whoa, how can you have this point at your passport that Еврей, it's like racist?" It turns out no, it helped us to repatriate. But the words like Еврей, like Zionism, and the traditional Jewish names like Abraham, Isaac, Sarah, Dora, they sounded like a bit illegal, because there were no diplomatic relations with Israel, because Israel was a potential enemy, ally of the United States, and the Jews had motherland outside Soviet Union, which was so that's why we needed to prove our loyalty all the time. We needed to find some job or to find some place and in the good position in the job. Okay, I think it's okay now. Up. And this one also looks okay. Great. That's it. Okay, now it is going to cool down. and we are going to do some liver at the liver. But first of all, but they because normally we don't. I want them to cool the latkes. I want latkes to cool down. The 4 of them. Well, just experiment. Okay, great. I'm going to while I'm cleaning a bit. Thanks, Shoshana. Okay, jump to the. Okay, my father Isidore. Bluma. My aunt was Bluma. Bluma Letina. My maternal grandparents from Poland. Yes. It was an interesting story. Like my wife, Anna Levina, the people probably don't know her. We visited together Vilnius. Vilnius now is the capital of Lithuania, but originally it was one of the small cities of Poland. It was Vilno, a Polish city. So my grandmother lived there when she was a young girl with her father, who was a Russian communist, Berkov Meyerovich. And it turned out that when we were in Vilnius, we found, we went to the archive and we found information about them. You know, it's funny because, like, members of the family, Berko Meyerovich, Ruvim Meyerovich, and another part, other members of the family, that means women. My great-grandmother, Beila, and my grandmother, Hannah. I see. Yeah, great. Maple. Make sure. We met Anna's mother. Yes, Anna's mother is a great cook. She does everything along the recipe. She doesn't improvise. She always cooks very well. So I'm going to improvise a bit, but so we will taste it a bit later. Now we're going to do some. We're going to do liver. Grisha, подержи, пожалуйста. Hold it, please. Я пока помою. Оп. It is an interesting story. When my parents met, they didn't know each other. But it turned out that they saw each other in 1967, and when they were in their 20s. It was Simchas Torah. It's Simchat Torah. It's a Torah's holiday in synagogue of Leningrad. So my mother sang there Yiddish songs with her friend because she was a famous singer in Yiddish. Now I'm going to cut. Okay, I'm going to cut the liver and I will continue with that story. Okay, so the story is that my mother sang in that synagogue. And my father, he was a medical student. And all the medical Jewish students wanted to enter synagogue, but they didn't have kippah. Do you know kippah? It's a traditional Jewish hat. But they were medical students, so they had medical caps. And my father had the initiative to put on a medical cap with the Red Cross. And one of the medical students was the KGB agent. Do you know what KGB is? He was a secret police agent. And all the students who put on the medical caps were expelled from the university for Zionism. Zionism meaning that they were Jewish and they were potential immigrants or spies or whatever against the Soviet Union. Now we cut all the liver. Yes. And we're going to fry it. Before I fry it, I will wash the saucepan. Okay, and they were expelled. And my father was in the stop list of the majority of the universities of the Soviet Union as a potential not loyal citizen. And so only 7 years after that, in 1973, he found money for the bribe to once again to start his medical career. And my mother was nearly expelled. Some of the teachers one of the friends, one of the teachers told that she was proclaiming some Zionist some Zionist slogans. So they wanted her to be expelled. But some of her Russian and Armenian friends, they stood up for her, and she wasn't expelled. She just lost all the privileges. She lost the grants. She lost the money, but she wasn't expelled, and she finished the university normally. But after that, it was very difficult for her to find the job. After she sang in the synagogue. Okay, great. Now I'm going to add some oil, and now we are going to fry the liver on one saucepan, and we're going to fry the onion on another saucepan. Grisha. Okay. I'm a family from Belarus. Okay, great. The eggs bind with mixture together. Eggs bind with mixture together. Yeah. No, we bind not with the mixture. I have boiled eggs and I bind them together with. I will do it differently. But let's try whose recipe is more tasty. Okay, now I put here. Now I put the liver, and now I'm going to cut the onion. Еще подержи, пожалуйста. Я резал лук. Держишь? Hold, please, so that I cut the onion.
Те комментарии нам подсылали.
Yes, there are lots of comments. Grisha asks. Grisha helps me. Okay. So. Now I'm going to cut the onion, and I'm going to fry the onion on a different saucepan. And we're not going to. Okay. Now I'm going to cut the onion. And my mother wanted to continue her career as a singer. And she wanted to sing in a restaurant. But from 1972 or 73, it was prohibited to sing in Yiddish in the public places. And she went to the committee. It was a kind of concert agency, state concert agency of Leningrad, Lenkoncert concert agency. And she said, "Oh, I would like to become a singer." They said, "Oh, you sing very nice. It's possible, of course. You're okay. But first, you will sing about young communists, then you sing about Lenin, then you sing about October Revolution, then you sing about Soviet army." I said, "Okay, no, thank you." And she never came back. And she was banned from all the official concerts. So she sang only somewhere in the private parties. My mother and her friend Anna, they sang in a duo. She had a guitar, she had a piano, and that was it. So she didn't get paid, but at least she was a very important person of society. Well, in 1988, my mother and her friend Anna, they came back because the perestroika started, because it was the beginning of glasnost, because it was possible to do everything, the freedom of speech. But her friend Anna, after a couple of tours, after a couple of concerts, she repatriated to Israel, and my mother decided to stop her singing career, and she founded a school drama club, where now she's teaching until this very day. She had a concert like 3 days ago. It was a big musical that she produced. And that was what was the times of the Soviet Jews. It wasn't easy. But in 1990, we decided to repatriate. We decided to repatriate to Israel, and we even started the private classes of Hebrew. I was 12. My parents were in their 40s, and we started to sell everything. And my father needed to go to Moscow. It was the end of 1990, yes. And it was like minus 25. He went. He wanted to to stand in a line for the Austrian consulate, because there was no Israeli consulate, to get the final visa to Israel in 1990. But it was a long queue at 1 in the morning, 1 a.m. And it was very cold to stand in a queue with minus 25 centigrade. And they said, "Let's go to some block to." And there was a block. In the entrance of the block, there was a family of the Georgian Jews. No, it's our place. Another block of flats. Bukhara Jews. No, it's our Ukrainian Jews. No, and they're different. And my father said to his friend Sasha, "Well, if we're going to live with those not so hospitable people, let's stay here in the Soviet Union." They went to one of the first commercial 24 hours restaurant in Moscow. They had a jar of vodka, and they came back. So that's how we didn't repatriate to Israel. To tell the truth, My father and his friend, they were co-owners of the dental clinic, one of the first commercial dental clinic in St. Petersburg, in Leningrad then. So it wasn't okay. Then my parents decided to immigrate to Finland because there was a Jewish community, but they were not ready to take our grandmothers. They were 80 years old grandmothers. That was kind of a burden for that Finnish Jewish community, and we stayed, and that was it. And my it was I don't know if it was a good decision, bad decision, but if I had immigrated, repatriated somewhere, I would have been a different person, and I would have never met Anna, and Grisha would have never been born. So everything is okay, everything is in the right place, right? Believe he can talk the hind leg. Okay. Right. So good, they changed their minds. Yes, so good, and like that. So, but part of our family repatriated. The family of my father's brother, his daughters. Well, one of his daughters, then another daughter, the granddaughters, great granddaughters. My great grandfather, my uncle Isaac, still alive. He's 89. He lives here in Ashkelon, so it was the reason we repatriated here. And he's writing a book about the Second World War, how he evacuated, how he survived the Holocaust, because he nearly escaped it. It was a long story. He's writing a book. He used to be an engineer in the plant, in the factory in Minsk, in Belarus. But now he's retired. He's a widower. So he has a spare time, and his daughter, his younger daughter, and her family lives here. So he wrote our memoirs about our family. Very interesting. And now he is 89. He survived cancer. He is very fit. Isaac Leon. He's riding a bicycle. He's swimming every week. So that means once again that the age doesn't exist. It's just how you feel. How you feel, right? Yes. Great. Okay, now we're going to wait for it. My father lived here in Ashkelon in Israel for 4 years. He was in a hospital, then he was in rehabilitation. He wanted to come back to Russia, but it was a COVID, and he's stuck here for 2 years. But he told me everything from the news that he didn't want to integrate into society. We have 35% of Russian-speaking people in Ashkelon. So people don't need to be integrated just to have some company, Russian radio, Russian television, Russian newspapers. Everything is written in Russian. Not everywhere, but still. The book will be translated into English. Maybe if I do it, maybe yes. But he's very active, old man. I wonder. Your story is the same as all of this diaspora, except we were not. Yes. It was tough to be Jewish. We didn't know. In 2010, I saw the announcement in near the synagogue of St. Petersburg when if you see some expression of anti-Semitism, please call us. And then I started to think that there were a lot of it. when I was a kid, like, you're Jewish, that means you are greedy. You're Jewish, that means you have a lot of money because you have a lot of connections. There were lots of things like that. We celebrated Pesach. We celebrated Purim. We didn't celebrate Hanukkah because it was too obvious. Probably they were afraid to buy some kind of candle holders. So that's why it wasn't like that. Okay, I think it's ready. Now, the liver pate with onion. I think onion is ready enough. I think liver is ready enough. Now we're going to mix it everything. Так. Пум-пум-пум-пум. Look. Держи, пожалуйста, Гриша, давай. Держи. Сейчас я буду. Okay, and now I'm going to add. Видно?
Благодарю.
To add some liver. Then I add onion. And then I'm going to add, I prepared soaked bread. It will give some texture to it. And then I'm going to add an egg, hard-boiled egg. So I will do it like that, and I will do some mixture. And like first the mixture, like we'll do it like that, to be homogeneous more or less as soon as it's possible. And then we will put it into a blender. Our blender is capricious. I hope it will work today. Okay, you see? So I make it soft first with a fork. Okay, and let's put it into a blender. Some pepper, some salt. This is a blender. And then we will do it for about a minute and a half, something like that.
Может вылететь все.
Не может.
А я не дам полюбовь в этом.
I will try. I think it's not enough already. Look. That's tasty. Right. Let's put it here. Let's.
Можно вот так вот камеру поставить?
Можно. Face down, посмотри. Look. Видно? Ты снимай. Видно, не видно?
Вот так видно.
Okay. Да.
Блин.
Держи руки, в руках держи, в руках держи.
Блин, но это не я виноват.
Ясно. Сказал, держи.
Держать? Зачем? Оно же там стояло.
Дай мне в руки. a bit of a a bit of an accident. Grisha is doing great. Так. Гриша, возьми, пожалуйста, ложкой и положи все сюда. Вот сюда положи. Put it everything here, from here. All the pate. When Grisha was younger, he was like 4 years old, he enjoyed mixing everything at home, like detergents, salt, soup, I don't know, waffles, flour, vinegar, and that's it. And now it's my chef-d'oeuvre. He said, my chef-d'oeuvre. I said, okay, someday, Grisha, you will cook something that we can eat. Better on rye bread. Yes, better on rye bread, exactly. I think it's difficult, to find the right bread here. Only in Russian shop. But still, doesn't matter. Okay, she doesn't like liver, but he's struggling with that. Okay, thank you, Grisha. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to do. Okay, now wait a second. I'm going to restore my gimbal. Can you see me? Russian shops, yes. Russian shop or Russian, Ukrainian, Soviet, ex-Soviet shop. Great. Look. So we have it here. And now we are going to cut the egg. Yes. This is the egg to decorate. The pate. And Grisha will have his own design today. Grisha, какой у тебя дизайн? Давай. Как ты это будешь делать? Покажи. Ты в центр положишь? Will you put it in the center? Yes, you'll put it in the center, right? Grisha, almost a vegetarian. He doesn't eat eggs, he doesn't eat liver, but he enjoys cooking. Great, very beautiful. You see? Did you put salt? Yes, I put salt. Yes, I put salt, yes. Latkes are almost better than chocolate. Okay, now we will put, great, and we will put it where? To the fridge. Thank you, Grisha. Wait a second, my fridge. Up. And we have a small surprise because we have an example of how it should look, more or less like that. I will show it to you. So it looks more or less like that. Very tasty. So, on the fridge. And now I'm going to taste latkes. What latkes looks at me? Just. It lacks some salt. And and very very easy. You don't need to boil anything. But they're very hot. No, no. If it's pancakes, I like it hot. But if it's latkes, I enjoy it like that. My grandmother used to do also the ones with the aubergines, and they were kind of warm, not hot, not cold. So that's what I enjoy. Just leaves for some for Anna. No, it's upon Anna. If she comes back, if she comes home late enough, she won't have any. I took a big bite. Great. I see. So some questions maybe. Coming soon. Some questions maybe about something. Thanks, Jill. About some Jewish culture, about something about the Soviet. Do you do much of the cooking? No, I don't do much. The funny thing is, my grandmother Anna, she cooked very well for the holidays, and she cooked awfully for the normal days, for the weekdays. I don't know why. Just didn't care. I don't cook bad like on purpose, but still I normally don't have time. But I enjoy cooking for some. If we have some receptions, if we get some guests. Thanks, Susan. This. Okay, some questions. I will do all the cookings. Yeah, a very enjoyable cooking. Thanks. Will you be posting the recipes? Yes, I will post recipes. You should get a TV chef. Well, if I have some practice, maybe, who knows? Grisha will be a TV chef. Grisha, will you become a TV chef? Поваром будешь? On TV? Maybe. Okay. Should give the day job. Jump to the latest. Some questions. Okay. How different was to keep a Jewish life in Soviet years? It was difficult because it was Jewish preferred to marry Jewish. Jews preferred to marry Jews because I don't know why. My parents' friend Boris Liokumovich told me, only marry the Jewish girl. I said, why? Because if she is angry with you, she won't have an opportunity to say, you are loser because you are Jewish. You are greedy because you are Jewish. You are, I don't know, something because you are Jewish. She will say, just because you're just loser, just greedy, just stupid, just I don't know what. Which was probably true during the Soviet times of anti-Semitism, but we don't have it now. Sometimes it happens, but it's not so big. The Russians have enough other things to think about. Thank you, Barbara. Stories. Thank you. Okay, and the Soviet life was a bit difficult because some people, like a person could become like associate professor, but not professor, if he wasn't a member of the Communist Party and was Jewish at the same time. Like, if you're Jewish, you should be a communist. If you are not Jewish, well, let's see. And also, my mother was a Rabinovich, for example, and she wanted to get a job as a Spanish teacher at the university. And my grandfather asked a rector personally, please take my daughter. They knew each other, and it turned out that he said, no, we also already have two Rabinovich, and the third Rabinovich will be enough. Will be just top. Mm-hmm. It's a true story. So it was a bit difficult, and it was there were no diplomatic relations with Israelis. So those people who immigrated to somewhere or to Israel or to the United States, they lost their relatives almost forever, and that's why it was very tough. Do you speak any Yiddish? Azochenweh, sei gesund. It sounds more like German, like schlafen, like spazieren, geh kacken, like go to hell, or schlimazel. Schlimazel is like a person who doesn't have, like a loser. Schlimazel. My grandmother used to say schlimazel, and not some expressions maybe. And the songs like tumbala 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 like tumbala 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 like tumbala like spiel bala like play bala like. It's a wooden Russian triangular instrument with strings. Spiel balalaika, tumbalala. Let's sing. Steht a Bocher, steht und tracht a ganze Nacht. Something like that. Lemon zu nehmen, verschämen, zu nehmen, verschämen. Or something like that. The wedding song. Lo mir alle neinem, trinken a gläsele Wein. Trinken a gläsele, let's drink a glass of wine. Gläsele Wein. Lo mir alle neinem, gläsele Wein. Or the song Mame, soll sein Liebe Mame. Пусть всегда будет Mama, let there always be my mother. Mame soll sein. When my mother sang that song, my grandmother always cried because she always cried because she had recollections of her mother, her family, and part of the family died in the Holocaust of my grandmothers. So not much Yiddish. Not much Yiddish, and I know that there are some religious families from Ashkenazi, they speak Yiddish among them. But it's, and I have a friend who is a linguist, and he speaks some classical languages, he speaks some like Greek and Latin, he speaks English, some French. So why don't I learn Yiddish? But it's not for use. Okay. Do you feel settled where you are? Has Grisha made friends? Grisha has made friends, more than we do. He is easy. He is a kind of a center of a company. And we are settled more or less. And now we're looking for a stable job. Well, I'm looking for a stable job. Anna's got a great job. Anna's doing well. I'm looking for a job. Let's see. Maybe first it will be some job, some with less Hebrew, and then it will be something with tourism, I think. Why not? I worked as a tour guide for 10 years in Saint Petersburg. Why not? Maybe with some social movement. Maybe I don't know. Could you please sing? Yes, there is Chabad there. In Saint Petersburg, there is everything, including Chabad. The matter is, I didn't like much the Jewish organizations when I first I met some activists, they looked like young communists. They had like this activity, so they didn't I don't like people to involve me so much, so that's why I didn't like. But there is there was Sachnut, there was Netzer, Chabad, and Migdal Or, and the different organizations and schools, and Jew and Hebrew department of the Oriental Studies University, faculty of the St. Petersburg State University, and Jewish section department of the Ethnography Museum in St. Petersburg. Bereavness. Schmatz. Katz. Pots. What a in English it's pots. What a pots. It's like cursing. What a pots. And when I damped myself something when it was spoiled, I said, my grandmother, hi, kaker. Kaker is to poop, like it pooped somewhere. Okay. Chabad is very welcoming of. Yes, I know. The matter is, we are not religious Jews. We're Jews, Евреи, not Иудеи. So that's why it was like Soviet Jews tended normally not to be religious, normally. So that's why we didn't have it in our family, didn't feel it like that. I know that people are welcoming, and Sephardi Jews also tend to be welcoming, and I appreciate that, and I see that how much charity there is here in Israel, and there was there also in St. Petersburg. I remember that the Chabad helped my great uncle Misha Shach. They were elderly couple, and they helped them somehow. Your families pushed their children to go to medical school. My father was a dentist, and he didn't push me, but he wanted me to become a dentist or doctor or something. But in the 9th grade, when I was 14 years old, I started to write poetry, to sing, to play guitar, to joke, to do some theater, and it was over with dentistry, with everything. So I entered the linguistic department of St. Petersburg State University. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for all your wishes. Thank you very much. You're an artist. Thank you, Lorna. Look, this is Anna. Do you want to see Anna?
Hold on, I'm still watching your tour on my phone.
Don't watch my tour.
Hold on a second. Hi everyone. Hold on, I close it.
Look, that's Anna. We met online.
Yeah, we actually met online. I'm very sorry I haven't been able to join and run this tour because, well, I normally have studies.
Everybody wants Anna to taste latkes.
Of course.
Anna, come here.
Hold on, I need to take off the shoes, yeah?
Because if I taste, if I'm an artist, I can fake it. I can fake it that they're tasty. Okay, Anna, taste latkes.
Okay, I haven't washed my hands, but okay, I'll just do it this way. Okay.
Huh?
Really good.
Taste my today's. Say something. When I will get the liver pate.
Okay, so there is not a day without a tour. Again, I'm very sorry I haven't been able to run this tour today myself, but I think you really haven't been bored at all and enjoying my husband's and my son's company.
I didn't answer all the questions because I needed to do everything at the same time.
Yeah, that's what you normally do. I actually, to be honest, I hate liver, but this is not too bad. Actually, it's very, very good. And since I'm not having any more of this liver thing, you can come over, you can come over.
I remember it was according to some diet that we had 7 years ago with Anna, I think even before Grisha, it was very, very, very.
You're too tall, and I'm short.
It was very, very good for the health. And that's why Anna tried to do some liver. I enjoyed it, but she didn't.
To cook liver.
To cook liver.
No, I hate liver in all. No,
I don't hate liver. I just don't like it simple. But I enjoyed it because it reminds me of the time when my grandmother Anna did it every holiday, and especially, of course, on the New Year.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you everyone. So thank you. Okay, next Grisha.
Together. How about a postcard together? No, stand here.
Okay.
Stand here. Stand.
Stand.
That's fine. We would like to thank you for joining this tour. I mean, it's been so much fun watching you guys on the other end. And I was kind of worried, but I knew you wouldn't let me down, and you haven't let me down, and seems like everybody's enjoying, and you might be actually stealing the show at some point, right?
What?
You might be stealing the show at some point.
No, there were improvisation.
No, you've been playing just great by ear, just like, well, really, I'm so proud of you boys. You've done such a great job. Thank you, everybody. Yes, Grisha's done a great job. I wonder what you're buying tomorrow. Yeah, so he's not gonna wait, for the money to be transferred. No, just tomorrow he's gonna get his money. That's the only way it works.
A toy. Yeah, or arcade games. An hour or arcade games.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you so much, everybody, for the tipping. Thank you for following us. Thank you for joining. So it's the deal. We are running a singing tour in January, right?
Right.
Yeah, the singing tour.
In Hebrew, not in Yiddish.
No. Well, yeah, in Hebrew. Well, why not? Right now that you know that Misha is actually quite good at running tours.
I'm waiting for your ideas. Maybe, and I will. If you send us ideas, and I will improvise something. Maybe I will made up some ideas for some next tours. Well, because it's fun, it's a creative atmosphere.
I think you can run a number of tours on the, let's say, Jewish life in the Soviet Union, and also I would say, the Soviet waves of Aliyah, waves of Soviet immigration.
Mm-hmm.
If this is something you'd be interested in, just let us know. You know where to find me, and if you know how to find me, you know how to find Misha.
And Grisha.
Thank you. And Grisha, of course. Поможешь с другими турами? Okay?
Grisha will be glad.
Okay. תודה רבה על העזרה שלך.
Definitely, yes. I would love a tour on Jewish. Yes, I will. I will deep more inside, and I will come up with more food and maybe songs.
Okay, I love it. So that's the phrase. He got me. I'll come up with more food. That's what you need, right? The more food.
Yes.
Thank you so much, dears.
Thank you.
I think we need just the last postcard with the foods, and this would be it, okay? Сейчас мы сфоткаем и все. Okay, so now my chefs, please. We have to take it closer to Grisha, and then you kneel a little bit. I really don't know how to do it. Okay, yeah, this would be great. So this postcard, please, it would be so much fun to see it. And just one more with me, okay? Also there in the picture. Okay, and over here, so with me. Yeah, that's just great. Wow, I didn't know I'll make it on time, actually. I just arrived at the bus stop. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the postcards. I would love to see them afterwards because I haven't taken any. I was in bus. I'm like, wow, no, that's definitely not the way you'd be watching tour properly when your family runs it. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, everyone. Really means a lot. And I'm so happy that there hasn't been that much disappointment about the tour that got canceled, because it's not me who canceled the tour, the parade, the Christmas parade in Tel Aviv, but the municipality. So that's it. Again, thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.
And Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow gonna be New Year market tours run by me, and don't forget about the Hermitage Museum tours and many more.
So
Bye bye.
now we're going to have a dinner.
Yay, dinner time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.